Here we are then, the last race of the day, the Milltek Sports Civic Cup, about to roll out onto the track. I say about to, we've got a bit of a delay here actually, a couple of the sessions earlier running over a little longer than they should have done, so we're in for another into the evening race here for the Civic Cup. But the drivers, as you can see, are assembling behind me and getting ready to go out for what should be a fascinating race. It's the reverse grid race, of course, the top 10 finishers from that first race reverse. So it's Jeff Oldham who'll be starting on pole, and we've got bags of time, so we'll try and interview the whole grid, shall we? Let's see how far down we get. We'll certainly interview our pole sitter, Jeff Oldham. And Jeff, you were getting involved in some pretty tasty scraps in that first race.
It was a good day. It was fun today. I really enjoyed it. So
not over yet.
No. But the first part was okay. Yeah, it was lively at times, and yeah, we've made some progress in terms of the cars getting better. So I'm just really enjoying it now. So it's.
I was about to say that. It does look like you're getting on top of this car a bit now. Is there anything in particular that you really feel you've improved on?
No, I think we just got to understand it a bit better. So, you know, Les and the guys that are looking after it have just helped get it to a point where it's a bit more stable, predictable, and yeah, it brakes in a straight line now and things like that, which is a real positive.
Always helps. What damage can you do? Not damage, but what sort of result can you get, do you reckon, from the front row?
If I can stay in the top 10, I'll be happy, to be honest. I'm not going to get in the way of the people there far quicker than me, and I'm just still getting to grips with it. So I'm just going to have a bit of fun, and they'll have to go by me, but you know, at the same time, I don't. If I'm still in the top 10 at the end of the race, I'll be really happy.
You all say that, but then that visor goes down and those lights go on and it all changes.
Probably.
Jeff, best of luck.
Thanks very much. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate. Jeff Oldham on pole position, and alongside him, Will De Claudio. Just sounds like a racing driver name, that. And Will, you were telling me before you've been racing for a little while, but one mate racing's a bit new to you.
It is new to me. This is my second event in the one mate cars. It's an eye opener for me, and yeah, I knew it wouldn't be easy, and I know it's not easy. But I'm enjoying doing it, and yeah, it's good to be here, to be fair. And
Donington's a great little track, isn't it, as well? It's fast, it's perfect, I think, for one-mate racing. So it's your second appearance of the season, but this was a good one to do.
Yeah, this is my third ever time at Donington Park, and I've always loved coming here, and it's close racing, and yeah, I just enjoy all of it, to be honest. All the guys here are great and great to race with, and yeah, we'll see what we can do.
You were sort of flying the flag for the team as well in the early stages of race one. You're the only one that stayed out of trouble in the early stages. Happy with how that first race went?
Yeah, I was happy with the first lap, to be honest, until the safety car came out, and then I just lost it after the safety car, and I was a bit gutted that I didn't stay with the train in front of me, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully we can stay out in front a little bit longer this time. Just get a good start, and that's all I want to do, really, to be honest.
So you've had a taste of Civic Cup now. We're going to see more of you in the future?
I would like to think so, yeah. I would really like to do a full season, but it all depends on budget at the end of the day, so, and sponsors and stuff, so, but we will see.
Excellent stuff. Best of luck from the front row then. So Jeff Oldham, Will De Claudio on row one, and then we have to go actually not as far back on the reverse grid as normal to find Alistair Camp, although ironically I can't find Alistair Camp. He's wandered off somewhere, so we will chat to Will Redford, who I've just walked straight past, who's starting alongside him. Will, new team this weekend in the brightest car on the grid, the Pro Alloys car, and slightly iffy start aside, not a bad start to the season with them.
Yeah, it's been all right. We had a brilliant qualifying. I mean, it was so close. We were in the top 6 within like 1.5 temps. So, I mean, anyone could have gone pole there. I'm sure everyone could have gone faster, and everyone was looking at, like, saying to themselves, "Oh, I could have been pole." But, you know, brilliant start. And then race one was a bit iffy. I had an awful start, as you saw. Dropped all the way outside the top 10. I was flying through the pack, made my way back to P4, and then overheated my brakes and locked up my rears and went straight into the gravel pit at turn 1. So, not ideal that, but. You know, it still wasn't a bad finishing position. P7 puts us P4 for reverse grid, so we'll see what happens.
And a teammate directly ahead as well. We don't talk about things like team orders so much in Civic Cup, and I'm sure that Will's not going to just pull out of your way, but have you had a bit of a discussion about what might happen into turn 1?
Yeah, not into turn 1 necessarily, but we'll see what happens on the start, see where I am. He's not going to fight me very hard. He's already told me that. He didn't fight me hard last race. Obviously, he's not just going to pull out the way and let everyone back by him as well, behind me, so... You know, we'll do it smartly, but he's not interested in fighting me, which is nice of him.
Your first full season in Civic Cup, and obviously you've had a few challenges thrown your way, it's fair to say, but you've seriously impressed a few people, myself and Paul included. It's been a really good season. Are you satisfied with how you're progressing through the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first full season in anything, full stop. This is I only did half a year in real racing before this year, so... You know, I set myself a target to start the year, which was top 5 in the championship. I'm currently 5th, so I'm still there. I'm still in the hunt. I feel like I've made a lot of progress. As you say, I've learned a lot. I'm learning how to set up cars. I'm learning how to be quick, how to race people like this. I mean, the championship is so close that it's such a good place to learn how to race people. So I'm happy with my progress. Yeah, I just want to get that first win, really.
Well, who knows? Could be the race, eh?
Yeah, could be, but we'll see.
Let's wait and see. Thank you, Will. Founder Alistair Camp. So we'll interrupt what I'm sure is a very important conversation going on here and talk about... we've seen many shocking things today, Alistair, but where you ended up in race 1, that was the biggest shock of all, I think. What happened?
I turned across the front of Bailey, unfortunately, as I've watched the videos back, and we've come to an agreement that it was my fault. So even people
said very diplomatically.
Even people like me make mistakes, eh? And Jeff's just called me special, that I'm a special guy, so yeah. And you just ruined my TCR contract.
Oh no, sorry.
So that's that done, so yeah, I'll probably be back next year.
Well, we'll put that conversation on pause then. You can carry on in a second because it would be great to see you in a TCR car. I mean, all joking aside, not a terrible result actually. You managed to get out of the gravel. Talk us through that, because that's not easy to do.
Yeah. I know one of the commentators wrote me off in that race, said Ali Camp's out, but I managed to dig it out somehow. But
was he a Scouser?
No, he weren't. I think it was yourself, Andy.
I don't believe him.
But no, so I just got it out and then just got my head down and did what I could do to try and reduce the points scenario with everyone else. Like, obviously Matt, I've got to look what he's doing. Obviously Dan's coming into it now. Morgan's there as well, so he's watching the mirrors for everyone.
Well, exactly, and this is where, for once, the reverse grid might benefit you, actually. You started at the pointy end. What's the game plan for the start?
Give Jeff a tenner, he'll pull out the way, and then hopefully get my head down and go for it.
He'll take more than a tenner to buy his trust, I'm sure. Best of luck, Alistair. Congratulations, best of luck for the race. Right, let's wander down to the third row of the grid, where we've got Morgan Bailey starting the number 26 car from 5th on the grid. Morgan, we've just had Alistair's side of the story. He blamed you for everything.
Yeah, that's probably what he's done, but I'll blame him for everything, because I was just minding my own business.
No, in fairness, he took that on the chin, said he moved across on you. It's a tough part of the circuit to go side by side, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're at some speed when you get to the bottom of there. It would have been side by side all the way down, and I was on the outside, I couldn't go anywhere. He moved across obviously to try and make the corner. We made contact, but it's a racing incident. We aren't going to go blaming each other. It's cost him a bit more than it has me with the way he's fighting for the championship. So no, I'm not going to fall out about it.
Do you know, that's so refreshing to see, isn't it? Because I think that really sums up this paddock, because we see other championships out there of a similar level and above and below indeed, and it gets a bit political, it gets a bit nasty, and whenever there is contact on track then it can turn really nasty sometimes, but it sort of says a lot about the camaraderie across this grid that you can talk it out like grown-ups.
Yeah, I mean, we're good mates. I mean, not going to fall out on track. Yeah, he was quite happy. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. There's nothing any officials can do about it. They're not going to put me back to where I was. That was it. Luckily, we didn't get stuck in the gravel.
Yeah, exactly.
If we'd have been stuck in the gravel, that wouldn't have been a good weekend, because you end up back of the grid. Yeah. And it's a long way to come.
And not too much damage, hopefully, to either car. Certainly Alistair's didn't look too bad. What was your line?
Bit of geometry work, and there was a spoke missing out the wheel. So that was the vibration down the straights. But no, full spoke missing, which was a bit of a surprise. Yeah.
Well, don't do that again, and best of luck for the second race.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Morgan Bailey, 5th on the grid there now. The most confident man ahead of race number 1 on the grid, he knows what I'm going to say here, was Mr. Luff, Matt Luff, 2nd in the championship. The good news is you still took some points out of Alistair. I think there's about 7 between you now, but that first race didn't quite go to plan, did it?
No, I mean, it started off well. I think Redford, I think, was installed or something in front of me. I got up to 4th. And briefly I was in 2nd, and Butler, I think, lunged me into Redgate, and we side by side at the hill, and I just got a squeeze and I dropped back to I think 4th or 5th, and yeah, from then on it was just kind of trying to keep with the pack. I've missed the gear a couple of times, my own mistakes really, but yeah, I mean, I'm not happy, but I'm glad that it wasn't like Ali was up at the front sort of winning and I was miles back. At least it sort of was still relatively close together, and like I said, I think I actually gained them a little bit on that one, so I guess it did work out. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm starting with my 6th, same as last time, so same again, up to 4th by the first corner.
Yeah, but then maybe change the script for the rest of the race. We've been saying this to Alistair all season long, though. You can't really afford to have an off race or make a mistake these days, can you? Because it's not just 2 or 3 of you at the front. There are the whole top 10 really capable of challenging.
Yeah, I think last year it was it was predominantly me and Ali up the front, and then a few here and there that could sort of just nip a podium in or just sort of catch us. But this year, it's literally there's probably 10 or 11 drivers, all of which can win a race. And it makes it so much more exciting, because I know for a fact, down to about over there somewhere, they can come up and win the race. So it makes it a lot more exciting. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
Good stuff. We'll let you get back in the zone then. Matt Luff raced in Ginetta Juniors against Seb Prior, and he told me he was quicker than Seb as well. So expecting big things from that young man over the rest of the season. There's no Harvey Caton or Rob Butler, actually. Where have they got to? Wandered off somewhere. So we'll have a little bit of a wander further back. Let's maybe try and make it down to the production end of the grid, because there we've got, again, this really fascinating championship fight. Alfie Jenkins, Louis Hounsell, really close together in the championship standings. And they were nose to tail for the entirety of that first 15-minute race earlier on. I know we had the safety car early on, but they really drove very well. They've been putting on a great show. I think there's about 20 points between them now in Alfie's favour. So Louis is going to be desperate to try and get past him in this race. We'll have actually a midway pit stop, because I found Rob Butler and Jordan Brennan, who I definitely want to have a chat to. Rob, we'll start with you first. First race, this is what? 3 finishes in a row, I think, now. They're steady on.
Shock horror, Andy. Don't speak too soon. It's all going to kick off in this one.
Do you reckon?
Oh, do I reckon. Yeah, we've got a bit of a real mixed up grid this time, don't we? With Ali on P3, Jeff on pole. We have a guest driver on P2. Yeah, it's... I think I might just hang back and let it kick off, because if I get stuck in, you know where I'll end up, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob.
Rob Butler's in the gravel again.
I would never say such a thing.
You're banned from mentioning my name, don't forget.
Honestly, I've never known fear like it when you were leading at Castle Cooper. I was terrified to say his name. In all seriousness, though, I mean, you're doing really well. You're riding a little wave of form at the moment. It has got to be a good feeling, because like the first half of the season, even back end of last year, really wasn't great for you.
Yeah, look, last year, we started last year, I think I had 5 of 6 DNFs and when we came Civic Cup racing, and then we'd 8 podiums to the end of the year. The last round was a little bit up and down. We won one, we finished second and one, and then we had some issues with fuel. And we started this year, obviously, with TCR. We had some issues, and then came into Civics. By the time Rob got the car ready, we didn't get any testing in. So we went to Coombe. We developed a car to how I like it, and all of a sudden we're there. And the biggest thing in this sport is once you're in the front, there's a lot less that can go wrong. But yeah, like we had an engine mount broken at Coombe in that second race, and all I could hear was bang, 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 bang every time I broke. So I was like, this isn't going to happen. But yeah, look, it's like anything. You have to work your way through your luck. Look, I think I've passed it to Max Hart, though, haven't I? Like, look at the Irish. I don't think so. But yeah, look, if we can have a bit of a race here, get on the podium, it'll be a good day, won't it? Yeah.
Sounds like a plan, Rob. Best of luck, mate, for the second race coming up. Top bloke is Rob, and he said I can have a go in his car as well, so even better. Jordan Brennan, you probably already had this one talking to you about this earlier on today, but the last time I saw you, you were the wrong side of a barrier at Alton Park. I couldn't believe it, actually, when you told me about this before. It's the same car. I mean, they fixed it up well, haven't they?
Yeah, Anfield Autos have done a mega job repairing it. We've got new front end, new bumpers, bonnets, wings. Oh, we're in the cars now.
I shall leave you to it. There we go. So, Paul O'Neill arrived just in the nick of time, as always. He and I are going to jog up to the commentary box now. Car's about to head out onto the circuit. So we'll have action from our second race of the weekend after this break.
For voice and data solutions at speeds that are simply out of this world, choose Maximum Networks.
let it go.
For voice and data solutions at speeds that are simply out of this world, choose Maximum Networks.
Milltek Sports Civic Cup action here at Donington Park, about to conclude with their second 15-minute race of the day. Myself and Paul O'Neill have just been milling around on the assembly area, chatting to some of the drivers. They are pretty much unanimously predicting that this is going to be a very lively race, and I can't say that I disagree with them, really. Andy McEwen and Paul O'Neill here to talk you through all of the action once again, and plenty of action there shall be, as we've got still a slightly overcast, very blustery, noticeably chillier afternoon, evening now really, that we're heading into here at Donington Park. The Leicestershire Circuit, the national version of Donington Park, playing host to our racing action here today. The temperature has been 18 degrees all day long according to this weather summary, and I'd pretty much go along with that. It definitely feels just a little bit chillier now though as we head towards the end of the day, and that's going to present a few challenges for the drivers as they try to get some heat into their tyres at the start of this one. So Andy McEwen and Paul O'Neill talking to you from the commentary box, and Paul quite enjoyed that little natter with some of the drivers actually down on the grid. Always some interesting vibes, interesting stories to come from them, but they're all saying that this one could get a little bit wild.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few people just trying to make their way up the order, people wanting to get to the last two rounds for them, isn't it? In good position. So yeah, I think it's such a good concept, you know, going to speak to these boys, especially in the Civic Cup, just to see what they're thinking, because they're not in the right frame set for you to ask them questions. So I think that is the best way to do it, because you get them on the hop. So yeah, it's good stuff. Exactly.
You always get an honest answer from them just before they go out and race. I've found that. Whereas when you catch them in the hospitality awning over a cup of coffee in the morning, you don't always get the same answers. So yeah, good looking grid we've got though, and we never actually made it down to the production end of the grid, so we might as well give them a bit of love now before the race starts, because Alfie Jenkins and Louis Hounsell, I've got them now 20 points apart. We've been saying that they're inseparable, but Alfie is just now starting. You see, he's winning more races than Louis. He's a bit more consistent maybe. Louis got to try and turn that round here.
Yeah, definitely. And but they race so well together and use each other in a good way when they're on the racetrack. So they just try and make a break, don't they, and crack on. But you never know, mate. It could get really spicy in the production class, because they really aren't that far apart time-wise. So yeah, but they're good kids, and it's good to see people still here. And is that a Rick Parfitt Jr. Top I can see on?
I believe so.
If that gentleman can hear me, his face is dropped. So have your mate's got a hoodie on?
I think they're at the old hairpin, I reckon. Yeah, which is a great vantage point, I have to say, especially if you're going to film some of the racing. And yeah, excellent choice of tops. A very, very bright top, a bit like the Pro Alloys cars in the Civic Cup. Your eyes are always drawn to them, aren't you? I've always thought that's a very smart marketing ploy for a racing team to stick a bit of fluorescent yellow on their cars.
Yeah, I did note that was the first thing I noticed when I was walking over to you, was the fluorescent the cars.
You need
there,
sunglasses now to walk up that grid, don't you?
No. One thing I will say, I didn't get to say it at the weekend. Lads. Hello there. Yeah, so we're on circuit comms as well, so some people can hear us. But one thing I didn't say on another weekend's commentary I was involved with at Thruxton just gone was well done to all the marshals. I did say that, but well done to all the sponsors, namely NGK Spark Plugs, who give a lot of sponsorship and money and support to all of the marshals. You'll see it on the back of the marshals overall. So yeah, fair play to people like that, mate, because it's a good thing.
Yeah, 100% agree. And the marshals have been busy today, that's for sure. We've not just had Civic Cup, we've had TCR UK, Time Attack, the British Drifting Championship have been here, and that in and of itself requires a lot of circuit furniture to be moved around to allow the drifters to go out on the circuit, and the marshals have kept up through it all. And yeah, at what now, 6:30 in the afternoon, and many of them on post since about 8:30 this morning. It's a long old day, but they'll have enjoyed every second of it, that's for sure, as we are going to enjoy every second of this race then. Championship wise, Alistair Camp losing a few points of his championship lead in race 1, but that became one of his 3 dropped scores. That disappointing, where was he, 8th in the end, 8th place finish in race 1. So it means that Matt Luff, who didn't really capitalise on it in quite the way he would have hoped, only took a few points out of him. 7 points now the advantage for Alistair Camp over Matt Luff for the championship lead, and it's then a further 14 back to the race 1 winner Dan Thackeray, who sits 3rd in the championship, a further 4 ahead of Morgan Bailey. But of course in this one it's very much advantage Alistair Camp, because he is starting from 3rd place on the grid, whereas people like Matt Luff and Dan Thackeray are coming from quite a bit further down the order. We can show you where they're going to be starting now, though, because the car's heading out onto their green flag lap, then ahead of 15 minutes of racing, and we can take a look at how they're going to line up for this 12th round of the Milltek Sport Civic Cup. So the car's heading around. It should be, once we get things lined up on the grid, a very interesting front row, actually, with Jeff Alden and Wilder Claudio starting together at the front of the field. Chatted to both of them, actually, in the assembly area just now, and Jeff was sort of suggesting that he might have to watch his mirrors a bit, whereas Will was very much saying that he was planning to get his elbows out of it, maybe, and try and challenge for a podium. So Alden and Claudio on row 1. Alistair Camp starting 3rd. He's got to be the pre-race favourite. But Will Redford, if he gets off the line a bit better this time, could give him a run for his money. Morgan Bailey and Matt Luff share the 3rd row. Keep an eye to Matt Luff to try and capitalise or make good on his promise of good race pace. Harvey Caton and Rob Butler together on row number 4, with Jack Harding and Dan Thackeray rounding out the top 10. Ross Darlington is next then. He starts alongside Paul McHugh. Then it's Matthew Cripps, who had a brake failure in the race earlier on. Owen Hillman and Jordan Brennan also had brake issues. He will start at the back of the Cup class grid. Then in the production classes, we also have a reversed grid. So the 4 production class runners all reversed in order. So it's Simon Welch on pole position alongside Mark Hughes, with the championship front runners Louis Hounsell and Alfie Jenkins starting on row 2. Louis Hounsell 20 points behind by my maths. And of course, because there are only 4 of them in the class, and you only score points within your class, so it doesn't really matter where they finish in the overall grid order, there will still only be 4 of them who score points in class. It's hard to overhaul the 20-point deficit, so Louis Hounsell is going to do it, and he needs to start doing that now. So, cars coming around then onto the grid. Alistair Camp, I called him the pre-race favourite there. I think that is a fair summary of this one. But I don't think he's going to have things all his own way. If he can break past the front row quickly, Paul, then maybe he will. But if he doesn't, he's got some seriously quick pedallers right behind him.
Yeah, he needs to clear the 2 in front as quick as he can. And we were talking on TCR comms before about, you know, people clearing the front row, and that didn't happen. Yeah. So, yeah, anything can happen. It only needs a bit of bunching up, a bit of contact, and yeah, that could be Matt Luff thrown away. But let's see what happens, because I think Matt will have his sights firmly set on winning this race. But Campy is definitely the man in the hot seat. But there you've got Morgan Bailey as well, that's not that far behind.
That's what Matt Luff was saying to me. He said you can look outside of the top 10 on the grid and find potential race winners in people like Ross Darlington, for example. So, going to be a competitive race this for sure. It's getting dark here at Donington Park on this August bank holiday, but we are going to try and make this final race worth waiting for, because 15 minutes of Milltek Sports Civic Cup action about to burst into life, with Jeff Alden on pole position, and alongside him Will De Claudio in the first of those 3 Pro Alloys racing cars. The car behind him is his teammate Will Redford with the blue roof. The lights go out now then, and we are away and racing off towards the first corner. Redgate they go. Looks like they've all got away cleanly this time, which is good news. They're 4 abreast in the production pack further down the order, and they head for Redgate then for the first time. Into the right-hander they will go, and as they come out the other side, we will find out who has got the lead. That is one of the Pro Alloys cars, and Jeff Alden's been turned into a spin at the top of the hill. Jeff Alden's got around. He's lost a few places already. He's going back onto the track. That's his Rob Butler, I think, who he's tangled with. So Rob Butler's good fortune, unfortunately, running out now, and I reckon that is Will De Claudio who's got the lead as they drop down into the old hairpin, and Morgan Bailey, for the second race in a row, Paul, has picked the pocket of Alistair Camp on the first lap.
Big time, hasn't he? And is that Luff as well?
It was. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw a pen at you. It is indeed Matt Luff who is there challenging Alistair Camp as well.
That could be a safety car, because it looks like Jeff Alden is stuck.
Yeah, he is indeed. Luff was ahead of Camp there, I think, for third place. Jeff Alden getting out of his very battered car. But yeah, Luff has gone third, and Harvey Caton up the inside of Camp for fourth. Disaster this for Camp.
Wow, yeah, but Harvey Caton isn't very confident on the brakes, and he does seem to lose the rear as down now the inside. He's going to lose another place, isn't he? And is that Will Redford on the inside of him?
Jack Harding. Jack Harding up the inside. I don't know where Redford's gone, actually. He's dropped down the order slightly. It is the 71 of Will De Claudio who leads them into the chicane. Morgan Bailey second, Luff third, Camp fourth. Caton giving Jack Harding a really wide berth there going through the chicane. Didn't want a repeat of his chicane antics from Castle Coombe last time.
Safety car.
But the safety car is indeed being scrambled, so unsurprisingly there, Paul, car stricken on the edge of the road. No choice but to bring the car in, and that was Redford at the back, Paul, with damage.
Yeah, just seeing that bit of damage there, and I think what that wide berth was with Harvey Caton and Jack Harding was actually because the safety car and the yellows were being shown. I thought, why are they giving themselves so much time? So yeah, I wonder what happened at the top of the hill, because Jeff got turned round in a big way. Butler was involved. I haven't seen Butler's car. I can hear something, but
that's Redford.
That's a Pro Alloy car, is it?
Yeah, front left puncture and left front corner damage. We saw Alden spinning across to the inside of the track as if he'd had contact with the left front of someone, so putting 2 and 2 together and possibly making 5, but that might have been what happened there, and maybe Rob Butler was just wrong place, wrong time. That would sort of be the Rob Butler way, really, wouldn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It's a very, very, very interesting one, this now, because this could go down to quite a short time race, this. I'm trying to look how much, it's only got 12 and a bit minutes left. That will be a pull out of the way, but where they pull it, I don't know. This could be an 8-minute sprint, this.
Yes, and not really the time to be red flagging it either with a 7 o'clock curfew, so we are going to have to just keep running behind the safety car, I think. Rob Butler did come through at the end of the first lap, and he did not pit, so Butler's still going, but clearly delayed, and in fact, no, sorry, he did come into the pit lane, but has just gone back out onto the circuit. So Butler, with some repairs made to the car, hopefully able to get going again. In the production class, by the way, Louis Hounsell is ahead of Alfie Jenkins. So Hounsell does have the lead. There he goes in the purple, black and white number 28 car. Jenkins right behind him. Hughes third and Simon Welch in fourth position. So Louis Hounsell doing everything that he can at the moment to try and take some points back out of Alfie Jenkins. But some seriously impressive driving at the front of the field. I mean, Will De Claudio to go from second on the grid to the lead in only his, fourth ever one-make race. And Morgan Bailey, again, good on cold tyres, getting himself up from fifth on the grid to second.
He really does find the gaps, doesn't he, Morgan Bailey? And, yeah, sometimes he's involved in a bit of contact, but most of the time it's just an aggressive, fair move, and he gets himself to the front there. So, yeah, so everybody, oh, yeah, that's being fully dragged out of the way. That thing has been so busy to do, whatever that is. Is it a not a manatee? Manitou?
Manitou, I believe, yes.
Is it a manatee's an animal in it?
Yeah, I think it is, yes. I don't think Mr. Attenborough had
anything
to worry about, does he? Sideways through the
That's like ice driving on gravel.
It really is, and this is a driver's worst nightmare. You've already had an accident, you're already counting the cost of said accident, and then you watch your car being unceremoniously dragged.
Look at that.
Through the gravel trap as the Manatee, Manitou, whatever, bounces around and appears to get stuck. So this might take a little while, Paul.
Yeah, they were desperately just trying to get that car out of the way, weren't they? And yeah, that's a shame, that is, because the one thing you don't want is the race to be as short as possible, because that's something that could happen at the minute. But yeah, we'll see what happens anyway, because that car just grabbed so much gravel.
Oh, that's Hillman, I think, now. That's a very inconvenient place to stop, because the marshals at the Old Hairpin are already busy dealing with the stricken Jeff Olden car, and now Owen Hillman has pulled off at the same part of the circuit. So not entirely sure what's going on there. Owen Hillman then, sadly, in the Pro Alloys racing car, is going to be out of the race. So
that's the second time you've, just to tell everyone, you've thrown your pen at me once.
I was hoping you weren't going to notice that, Paul.
And then you've thrown your lid at me.
I'm a fiddler, you see. I can't help but fiddle with things when I'm talking. It's an issue I have. So the race then behind the safety car, 9 3/4 minutes to go. I think we're all getting a bit delirious at the end of what's been a very, very long day here at Donington Park. I hope we do get to see some racing though, because it's a very, very finely poised race, this, isn't it? Because Will de Claudio, although he was telling me on the grid that he didn't necessarily feel that he was going to be able to stay at the front and that he wasn't going to make life too difficult for people around him, having now got to the lead, and of course the time ticking away behind the safety car, suddenly you might start to think that this is on.
Yeah, definitely. Rob Butler just went through with a headlight out, looked like he'd been punched outside a Glasgow nightclub. Had like one headlight on and one off. Your leader, though, we were talking about Will de Claudio, he is a very, very good friend of Joshua Cook's.
Is he now?
Cookie's just messaged me and said, I'll read it out, Will de Claudio is a mate of mine. He's a really horrible man. No, he says he's a really good lad. So Josh is obviously watching and must do a bit of coaching with them as well, as flat out past our comms box then. That was the fastest lap I think that car's ever done.
It was the fastest lap of the race. It was set by Will Redford, who has got going again from the Old Hairpin. He's lit the timing screen up purple as he tries to catch back up to the back of the pack. So all sorts of strange things, almost going bump in the night as it does get darker and darker here at Donington Park. But yeah, fastest lap set temporarily by Will Redford. I'm sure that we will see some faster laps, hopefully very soon, because it looked, Paul, like they got Alden's car behind the barriers down at the Old Hairpin. So once the recovery vehicle is out of the way, we should then be able to get the restart.
Yeah, that should be the way forward. Could be difficult this actually for us, except for those cars, because to be fair, Will's is pretty easy to spot, but the headlights when they're on and it's going dark, you know, you've commentated on more races than I ever have, it's difficult to see. You can see the third place car there. We know that was Matt Luff, but you could get them cars mixed up with the brightness of those headlights. So getting dark here, headlights are on some of the cars, and hopefully we're going to be going. It's not going to be this lap because you need to have a certain percentage of the lap left before the safety car can turn their lights out.
Yeah, thank you, Paul, for preemptively getting our excuses in for when we inevitably get those two area motorsport cars confused. They are nose to tail in the line. But that is significant because there's only 7 points between those two now for the championship lead. So put us inside those two cars, Matt Luff and Alistair Camp. Lights out. Never mind. Lights did go out. A very late call, but I'm grateful for it because with just over 7 minutes to go, we are going to get the race restarted then. And Will de Claudio, I think, caught on the hop there a little bit as well because Morgan Bailey is almost drawing level with them as they head towards Redgate Corner. De Claudio on the inside. Watch for the late lunge on the brakes. Here it comes. Morgan Bailey from the outside to the inside. De Claudio tries to crowd in towards the apex, but the number 26 car is already there. De Claudio sideways off into the dirt. Bailey gets the lead. Luff goes second. Camp goes third. They're all going to come through like a steam train on the inside.
Yeah, and it was always going to happen. That should have covered it off earlier than that, but anyway, he probably doesn't know how aggressive Morgan Bailey can be, but it's great. Look at behind though. Look at position 2. Under attack, Matt Luff from Campy. So a lot going on, and there's the 29. Dan Thackeray is also getting involved as well, but Matt Luff cannot let Morgan get away. This is his chance to get some points back.
And more to the point, can't let Camp through because he's got a golden opportunity here to outscore his championship rival. Harvey Caton there around the outside of Jack Harding. That's Harding actually trying to get up the inside of him for 5th position as the long line of Civics head through Coppice Corner for the 5th time of the race. And at the moment, Morgan Bailey making a small break maybe from Matt Luff, but Matt's been telling me all day that he feels the second half of the race is where his number 72 car is going to come on strong. I know we've had the early safety car, but we are now into the second half of the race. Give him a lap or so, and I wonder whether we might be able to go after the lead. Had a bit of a moment into into the chicane though, did Love, and Camp is right on him now as they come out across the start-finish line. Love immediately keeps to the right-hand side of the road to defend. His priority here, Paul, is keeping that number 1 car behind him.
Yeah, definitely, and look at that big move from the back as well. But Jack Harding there, and this switchback is on because Caton, wow, that was pretty close, but fair play, he got it right, and Morgan Bailey's away.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? That little defensive move there from Luff has just delayed Luff and Camp, but this is for the championship lead. 7 points between them in Camp's favour, and right now the pace seems to be in Camp's favour as well. He's shoving his teammate out of the old hairpin. He had such a good run off the corner, but Luff had placed his car in the ideal position to cover off the attack. Into McLean's they head there, bit of a lock up there on the unweighted rear wheel from Matt Luff. Manages to hold on to the apex though, but I'll tell you what though, Jack Harding is coming, isn't he? The AK Automotive prepared car absolutely flying right on the back of the 2 Area Motorsport machines, and he is sensing a chance of another podium.
That's ominous. That's ominous from Harding. Look at that wide from Camp. The champ was wide at Coppice, and Jack Harding's been released from Caton. Look at him now. He is absolutely lit, and I think the move will be on at Redgate as another rear lock up there from Matt Luff, and he's really struggling. The area cars not looking as fast as they usually are, and Jack Harding is the man to watch here for me.
Luff's just struggling to get into the corners, isn't he? It's that the under braking, the back of the car seems to be skating around all over the place, and he's just struggling, doesn't have that confidence to turn into the turns. You can see it again there, just turning in a bit later maybe than Alistair Camp, but there's no way through on the inside, and they come out of Redgate corner still in the same order. Morgan Bailey sets the fastest lap of the race, by the way, 1 minute 18.240. He's 1.1 seconds up the road from this battle now. This race becoming increasingly about the fight for second, whilst Morgan Bailey starts to make a break for it out in front as Alistair Camp goes on the inside of Luff. What a move at the old hairpin, and Camp has got him, and Luff might well have a problem because he's slow off the corner. Camp's gone through, Harding's gone through, Caton as well. That is heartbreak for Matt Luff. I think there must be an issue.
What has happened there? That is bizarre. Just left the door open, but must have had a problem, and now Harding's all over the back of Camp. Camp's in trouble now as well, so yeah, well, the regain of composure, and that's an inside move, but Harding knew better than to really fight that one. Caton in the 54, he's running a bit wide as well. Not long left in this race. Morgan Bailey away, but there's a lot going on now, and Jack Harding still looks so fast off Coppice corner as they now come into the chicane. There could be a move on here if Harding gets in and out of the chicane as quick as he can.
Rattles over the curbs, they're a bit clumsy through there for Jack that time. Luff, by the way, back up to speed, so maybe had a missed gear or something after he'd had the moments at the old hairpin, because he is sticking with them now. Headlights ablaze then for him, but again, missed opportunity this for Matt, really, dropping to the back of this group with Camp now outscoring him pretty handsomely as it stands. But as you're saying, Paul, that could all change because Jack Harding and Harvey Caton right behind him. Best we've seen from both of those drivers so far this season. I know they've both been up there in podium battles all season long, but Harding looks like one of the fastest drivers on the track, and Harvey Caton so far keeping himself out of trouble as Alistair Camp has a huge moment at the old hairpin.
And he didn't need to have that, he really didn't, but he's obviously worried about Harding's pace behind him, so yeah, getting really, really fiery this one now. Everybody pushing up, but Matt Luff, that flapping front bonnet, I think it was something to do with hitting the curb so hard that he did maybe miss a gear, like you said, because he's back on form. How cool does that exhaust look on these cars as they exit Coppice? The flames getting thrown as they go from 4th to 5th. You might see a pop in a second.
Yeah, there you can see it from Dan Thackeray's car. Thackeray also now ahead of Matt Luff, so Luff dropped down into 6th place as a result of that moment. Jack Harding, having halfway through the lap been dropping away from Alistair Camp, has closed right back in on the number 1 car now, and this time it's Camp who skates into the chicane a little bit too fast, and this is surely Harding's opportunity. He's quicker off the corner, 2 laps to go, he's in the slipstream, less than a Civic's length between them, and unless Alistair Camp guards that inside line, surely Jack is going to go for the move. Can't get up the inside, but he is very, very good at a switchback at Redgate is Jack Harding. We've seen him do it time and time again in Mazdas, and he's going to try and do it again here in the Civic. Couldn't quite get up the inside on the exit though, and Camp fends him off for now.
Yeah, he just about got that right at Redgate, didn't he? But look how close he is again. He really isn't getting... both of them having massive moments down the green. It didn't look so big on the telly, but I'll tell you what, if you're inside the car, your heart will be in your mouth.
Both of the area cars, Camp and Luff, seem to be reacting badly to curbs, don't they? Camp's car doesn't look great through the old hairpin either, compared to Harding's car, certainly, which seemed a lot more stable through there, and that then translates into a lot more speed going up the hill towards McLean's for the chasing car. So Jack Harding will be feeling pretty good here, but he's running out of time. Only one lap to go at the end of this one. Wide, out on the dirt, and this is surely Harding's opportunity now. He's up the inside. Oh, Ross Darlington in the gravel at McLean's, I'm afraid. That's going to be yellow flags there for the final lap, but no yellow flags here. Jack Harding up the inside, has his nose ahead. He's got the inside line for the chicane, and Jack Harding will go through into second place.
Yeah, great move, and it was just the pressure that he applied to Alistair Camp, and Camp run wide. You only have to go half a width wide today, and the dust and the muck and the rubbish on the track is just pulling people into an understeer moment, and they have to come out the throttle because they just cannot make it. Harding, great job.
Absolutely. So through Redgate he goes, second place, 3 seconds off the lead. He's not going to catch Morgan Bailey now, but second place is going to be a really good drive, and I think makes Jack a candidate for one of the drivers of the day that we have to pick in the Milltek Sports Civic Cup. In production, by the way, Alfie Jenkins back ahead of Lou Hounsell now, so that's also significant for the championship, with Jenkins now outscoring his nearest and really now only championship rival in production. Right, 5 of them out of the old hairpin. This is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th positions, making their way towards McLean's for the final time. Very artsy stuff as they head towards the top end of the track in the setting sun here, Paul. That was special.
Oh, you need to start growing up if you've got time to come out of focus and back in focus. Now, that was lovely, that was. That was nearly as good as the race.
Nearly. Right, out of Coppice they go then. 2 more corners to go. Tell you what, Camp's 3rd place is not secure here as Matt Love goes very wide through Coppice there. Look at the way Harding's got away from Camp, and Harvey Caton has closed right in on him. One more chance, Harvey weaving around, thinking about it, doesn't go for it on the way in though. That will be a bit of a drag race to the line, but Morgan Bailey is coming out of the final corner to claim his 3rd victory of the season and insert himself fully into the championship battle. 2nd for Harding, 3rd goes to Alistair Camp, 4th Harvey Caton, 5th Dan Thackeray, 6th for Matt Love. Cars in the gravel further back, but here come the production race leaders with Alfie Jenkins ahead of Louis Hounsell. I think that's still the order. We'll get them across the line very quickly. There goes Paul McHugh, Jordan Brennan. There are the production leaders, and that is going to be, yes, Jenkins ahead, 7.54 ahead of Louis Hounsell. Driver of the day, Paul, very quickly. I think Jack Harding's a really good shout in the Cup class.
Jack Harding for me, definitely. He's been exceptional, but the man who won that race was super brilliant as well. But Jack Harding definitely co-on sport driver of the day for me in the top class.
Quite agree, and production will have a conversation in a moment because that was a really tight day, but I guess Alfie Jenkins, really the big point scorer, has to be the favourite for that award as well. Right then, Civic Cup action done then here at Donington Park. We've got a podium ceremony incoming though, and some interviews with Paul O'Neill down in Park Ferme, so don't go anywhere. And yeah, confirmation that it was the victory, a 3rd of the year for Morgan Bailey. He got the fastest lap as well, so that's 26 championship points going to Morgan Bailey, and that really helps him from a championship perspective. Alistair Camp in 3rd position will score 20 points, I believe it is. Yes, 20 points for a 3rd place finish for Camp. And championship leader then, at least able to outscore his nearest rival, Matt Love, who could only manage a 6th place, so 14 points for Matt Love. And Dan Thackeray, the race 1 winner, in between them, in 5th position, gets 16. So that means that, yeah, Alistair Camp is now 11 ahead of Matt Love, who is 8 ahead of Morgan Bailey, who is 6 ahead of Dan Thackeray. So there's not a lot to choose between those top 4 in the championship, covered by what I make as 15 points. So although Matt Love loses out to Alistair Camp there, Morgan Bailey is able to close in on him slightly. Confirmation of the result there. Bailey gets the victory, Harding 2nd, Camp 3rd, with Harvey Caton. A great day. Fairness Caton is another shout for the driver of the day, just to confuse matters. I know I said Jack Harding, but Harvey Caton's had his best weekend of the season, I reckon. Dan Thackeray 5th, Matt Love in 6th place. He'll be disappointed with that. Will DeClaudio, Rob Butler 8th, despite being involved in some way in the first corner shenanigans. Matthew Cripps in 9th, and Will Redford, likewise delayed at turn 1, but rounds out the top 10 at the flag. Paul McHugh and Jordan Brennan are 11th and 12th, ahead of Alfie Jenkins and Lou Hounsell, who are 1st and 2nd in the production category. Owen Hillman was next, then it was the 3rd and 4th place production runners, Mark Hughes and Simon Welch, with Ross Darlington retiring to the gravel a couple of laps from the end, and Jeff Olden unfortunately out at the first corner pretty much, although he limped his way down to the old hairpin before pulling in to retire. So Castle Donington, overlooking the Donington Park circuit, and a great venue for racing. It has delivered drama again all day long in Civic Cup, in TCR UK as well. It's been a fantastic day of racing, and that is a happy man, but there is a happier man in Morgan Bailey, who gets out of the car looking a little bit worn out after a very, very hard 15 minutes of work. Jack Harding there, he'll be happy with that second place finish as well. Handshake with Morgan, and both of them and Alistair Camp there as well are 3 podium finishers. All pretty satisfied with that result, I think. A few others, sadly, not having quite such a good day. Ross Darlington's car off into the gravel trap at McLean's, and that's being dragged out of the way now. No obvious damage done to that car, but would be interested to know exactly how he got there, and whether he jumped or whether he was pushed, but hard to tell from the time being. So, dramatic stuff in the Milltek Sports Civic Cup, but it's the 3rd victory of the season for Morgan Bailey. He now closes to within 20 points of the championship lead, and more excitingly than even that, he's about to catch up in Parc Fermé with Paul O'Neill.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, it was amazing. How cool was that race? We've got all sorts of big, tall people around me, and the tallest man here, and the race winner, Morgan Bailey. Yeah. Do I look like a European exchange student with this backpack on?
You look like you're off on your travels.
I am off my travels in a minute, mate. Late doors, actually. It's nearly 7 o'clock, isn't it? But are you? Is it quite difficult to keep your concentration with it being you know, such a long day?
Yeah, it gets you between races when it's such a long wait. You start thinking about all sorts, especially when we have such mechanical problems this morning. We're pleased to have a good result to end the day. It's always a quicker ride home when you've had a good result.
It does help, doesn't it? But just put into words how much of a result that is for you, because I've seen you buzz gunning the wheels up and trying to get the subframe in before, and it always astounds me how much a race driver has to do in a club championship, because prima donnas like me, we don't do that stuff.
Well, it's me and my dad and the other lads who are here today. Thank you very much. I mean, we got that gearbox change between qualifying and race 1. There wasn't a lot of time, but we did have time to sit down after we finished, so it was quite good. Gearbox still ain't quite right, but we finished the race anyway. I was quite happy for the safety car laps. It was a couple less race laps on it.
What do you think's wrong with it?
That one's crunching down into 3rd gear, so it's difficult. Red gate up at the top of the hill there, but we got it home in one piece. It's just been real careful. Yeah.
Happy enough though. Go home tonight, and then we go to the next round as well. And it's 2 weekends, for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not long really. Brands Hatch, good track, always gives good racing. So, and then I look forward to Snetterton. I like it at Snetterton, last one of the year. So yeah, fingers crossed we have some more good luck. I mean, that was quite a bit of luck. Yeah.
Top man. Well, you've won another one, so well done to you, fella. Have a good rest of the day. Right. Oh, here we go. This man looked like the most super fast person ever. You had race-winning pace there, didn't you? It just looked like you were locked in.
Yeah, it was frustrating with the safety car really, because we lost about 4 or 5 minutes, and I think that 4 or 5 minutes after I got past Camp at the end would have made a difference, because we were catching Morgan in front. But look, 9th to 2nd, I can't really complain really. But yeah, we were fast. That's the main thing.
What happened at the top of the hill? Did you see anything going on at the front? I seen Jeff Alden got turned round, but we didn't see it in our camera shot.
Yeah, so he was just in front, and it was literally 3 cars into one didn't go. So one moved over, the other moved over, and I think someone just got sandwiched, and it just turned somebody round. So luckily I just avoided it to the left.
And you're enjoying your time in Civic Cup. Are you going to come back for the next couple? Can we ask that?
Yeah, so I'll be here for the rest of the season, and then I'm just trying to raise budget for next year really. So we miss Coombe just because of budget and things like that. So if the rest of the season, try and put a package together go for the title next year.
Is it? Can I ask? This is a personal question. Is it a lot of money? Is it affordable to some companies to come along to help out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I did a thing in MX5s last year where certain people could just sponsor a round of entry. Do you know what I mean? Entry's like around £450, and just do little bits, or pay for a set of tyres here and there. It makes a massive difference. And if we get sort of a bit of backing, then we can probably try and find the rest ourselves. So, but yeah, it'd be great to be on the grid next year.
Good man. Well, it'd be good to see you out there. You deserve it, mate. Nice one. Well done. Right, that was quite an unprofessional question to ask, but you have to, don't you? Right, I forgot who was third now. Oh, it was you. How's it going, mate? Oh, look at that. Go Ali Camp. Yeah, he only just made the podium. He's that good. Are you kidding? He's the best. I love him. Go Campy as well. I love that. That's amazing. Who does Campy? Yeah, I know he loves my sister. Everyone loves my sister. Anyway, enough of that. That was all right, wasn't it? What was going on with Matt Luff? Did he miss a gear or something?
Yeah, I think just like he parked on the apex, I was like, I've got nowhere to go, so just try and go up the inside of it, and luckily we made it stick, but he said he stuck in neutral. So he went for fourth, it jumped out, stayed in neutral, and then he got it back in. That's why he lost so much ground and everyone. But yeah, it was close.
Yeah. I know he's your teammate and you like him, but were you quite happy like get past him because it's championship crunch time in the last 2 weekends?
Yeah, and obviously after race one for me, I was like, obviously you're looking at your points thinking, and obviously now I've just cancelled everything out basically, so we go to Brands the same as what it was here. So yeah, just reduce the points scenario really.
Listen, I'll let you crack on, and Mel C sends her best. Right, where's the rest of the guys here? Where is everyone? Where's all these kids gone? Harvey Caton had a good race. Where's the rest of them? Where's the top three of production? Oh, there they are. Right, look at them, like naughty little school kids, aren't they? Hey, come here, you little rascals. Actually, you're a big lad. He's a big lad. That was all right, wasn't it? You're quite happy with that? You're having a good weekend.
Yeah, it's quite a good weekend, to be fair. Fastest lap in race one, I don't know about this race, but yeah, 2 wins. Yeah, brilliant results. And Louis, second place in both races as well, pushing me the whole way to the finish line. So, yeah, can't ask for much more than that.
Do you ever think, I just want to fire him off just for a laugh?
Yeah, sometimes in testing. But when he's going quicker than me, I'll just give him a little tuck. See you later.
But it's good, though. I've seen you boys on the test, and it's nice, isn't it, when you can race hard and fair, and it is motorsport at the end of the day, and you want to beat each other.
Yeah, it's me and Lou have been racing together nearly 2 years now, and we've never even touched a wing mirror, and we've always worked really closely together on track to be at the front. So yeah, it's great to have a teammate like Louis.
It's a PR bromance, I like it. Well done, Alf. Louis, that was all right, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it went all right. I had a really good start. We were like 3 or 4 wide on the start line. It was pretty cool. Then the safety car came out and I was really long. It just gets in your head, like, when is it going to restart? And then when it restarted, I got quite a good launch, I think. Yeah. And then a couple laps later, I turned into Old Hall a little bit early, clipped the inside a bit, and it sort of sent me out wide and went all over the bumps, which was a bit scary, but I didn't crash, and yeah, kept on track. Caught back up to Alfie, but I just couldn't get past. He was just so close on pace that making a move is quite hard. So yeah, I just settled for second in the end, and yeah, 2 good second places isn't too bad, so I'll take that.
Last 2 weekends, hoping to try and just edge your way and get in there?
Yeah, Brands Hatch next, which is my local circuit, so I'm going to have lots of support there. And then Snetterton, the final weekend, that's my favourite track, so I'm hoping for some really, really good results there.
Top man, listen, well done, and as usual, you're my fave. Well done, boy. Mark, how are you, boss? Mate, you can't get away from the podium.
I shouldn't be disappointed, but I am, because just made a little adjustment and it just threw the car out. Tyres were going off really quick because I felt I could have just grabbed them 2 today, but oh well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Should be happy with third.
Well, no, I think it's a good thing, because you did look like you were mad for that second race, and it's nice to want more, though, isn't it? Because you can't just be sitting around thinking, oh, you know, we'll just get on with it. It's a good thing, mate.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got distracted with the back markers coming through. That held me up a bit, puts you out of your rhythm a bit, because you know they're going to come through because they're quicker cars. So, all in all, can't rule him on. Two podiums today. So yeah, great.
Wicked. Right then, leave you to it and see you at Brands.
I might not be at Brands just because.
Why?
Because of the point situation.
What?
Yeah.
Can I drive your car?
Do you want to drive my car?
I've got to work.
Oh well. It would have been nice. I might be. I don't know. I might not be out of Brands. Might be at Snet, because just the point situation. Got to recoup some money. Maybe put some more tyres on it. Stuff like that, really.
Okay, fella. Well, listen, I hope we see you there, and everyone else who's watching probably does as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No worries. Well done to everybody. Right, back to you, I think, Andrew.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, evening falling here at Donington Park, and we have had quite the day of racing, and we're not done yet in 2022. The Milltek Sports Civic Cup will have 2 events to come, actually. They're racing at Brands Hatch on the 25th of September. Sadly, I can't make that one, but I believe that Jack Oliphant will be covering all of the action there. And then both the Civic Cup and TCR UK are going to be action at Snetterton on the 200 circuit, the shorter of the 2 most commonly used layouts there. there for their finals day. And the championships that are going to go down to the wire, let's be honest, in both of those categories, will be decided down in the southeast, the 23rd of October, and both of them very, very finely poised indeed. You will not want to miss it. Well, thank you everyone for joining us here at Donington Park. I hope you've enjoyed the racing. It's been some of the best racing we've had for quite some time in both TCRs and Civic Cup, and we'll see you all again in the very near future.